Hello. Is there anybody there? Let me turn the video down, the sound down. I got to remember how to do this.
Right.
Right. Chip Taylor, hi. Marvelous. Thank you very much. Yay, it's begun. I know, finally. Right, let's just give everyone a moment. While we give everyone a moment, I'm going to go and find the live link and just stick it in the Instagram. One moment. But I can see there are people here and chatting. Hello from, see, Hannah, you said this was international. Hello from Florida, Los Angeles, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's a worldwide thing. It's amazing.
Right, you don't need to hear me twice. Bear with. I've just come home from work. I've literally been in about 10 minutes and I've got wine. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm going to have a glass of wine now. Take a moment.
Then you'll have to have one on my behalf as well.
Oh, yes. How long have you got left? Hannah's pregnant, everyone, by the way.
I'm due in June, so not that long. Not as long as I'd like.
No. Yeah, that's going to come around quickly then, I guess.
Once Easter's over, yeah. That's what I thought. I just thought, oh, once the Easter holiday's over, I'm in trouble.
Yes, you are.
I've just shared the link for you as well on Twitter.
Thank you. Right, we are live over on YouTube. Hi, everyone. Thank you for popping along. I'm just going to rearrange my screen so I can see the comments and I can see Hannah. I'm a little bit chaotic, which you've come to expect from some of these Zooms and lives. I'm trying to rearrange everything. And I'm trying to post this on Instagram so that everyone can see. Right, we are live over on YouTube for the... Can you see I've got my needles around my neck? So I've got my needles and my yarn and my wine. They're the most important things.
You are ready to go.
I've got myself a cast-on party. Come and join us. Right, so let's pop. So while I do that, so obviously, welcome to Hannah, who is here and is joining us live. Hannah has got rid of her kids for the weekend, for the night.
Just for the night.
Just for the night. One night's not too bad, though.
No,
it could be worse. They could be here joining us.
Yeah, and they would be joining us. Yeah.
We're live on YouTube, but we're doing it through Zoom because that's how you can get multiple people to join you. So Hannah, Louise and Gemma may pop along if they can join us. So you might suddenly appear or suddenly see them join us. May not. It'll be a mystery. Right, I'm still trying to do this. I'm not very good at this multitasking malarkey. Hannah, I don't know how you do it. Is it a boy-girl thing?
Possibly, yeah. Maybe men just want to do it right every time, and that's why they do just one thing at once.
It's like I think I just get distracted.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to everybody that's there, and I need to try and do an Instagram. And it's like,
Yeah. Well, I've just shared it on Twitter with 8,500 followers. So hopefully
woo!
That is yeah.
Right.
I feel like you're assistant here, like your wingman.
Thank you. That's what I need. Mark's here. Mark is an assistant, and he's here working. And he's just text me. Can you be quiet, please? This is why I don't work from home very often, because I am noisy and disruptive. Apparently, you guys can't see that, can you? I'm not noisy and disruptive. Maybe you probably can see that actually.
It's Just sheer enthusiasm, Martin.
I know. Internet. Oh, well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. This is so cool to finally be casting on. I've got my needles. So I'm just going back through the comments now. Right. I'm gonna have a sip of wine while I do this. So we've got people from America, which is awesome. Isabel from Spain. Greetings. We've got some locals. Anne from Bristol. That's not far from me. Alabama, Chicago, Nottingham, London, Virginia. This is amazing. Greetings from the Netherlands. Janice has already cast on. We'll come back to the Pico Edge, Janice, because I'm not that far ahead yet. Rhubarb and Burble, yeah, Mark should be my assistant. You know what it's like. He's not going to do that. He's just going to tell me that I'm noisy and disruptive and can I stop? Jeanette from Australia, hi. Sunny Scarborough, it's quite sunny in Cardiff here. I don't know why, it's very weird. We don't usually get a lot of sun. So yeah, it's very bizarre and crazy and mad that this is kind of happening, which, yeah, it was something that was in my head for so long to try and do this, this kind of collaboration. And Hannah and I were just talking about it beforehand, before we started. And yeah, it was in my head for so long. And I started it with Gemma and I was like, what if we do this? And now that we're here with patterns and yarn and needles, and it's all a bit surreal, but in a really nice way. So no, I guess thank you to Hannah. And of course, we've thanked Louise and Gemma. They might pop up too, but definitely a team effort.
Oh yeah, especially thank you to Gemma for the yarn. It's lovely.
Yes. And I've got I think I've mentioned this before. So I am going to cast on. I have my pattern and I have my needles and I get to use my new needles for the first time. Santa bought me some Leica, the driftwood ones.
Someone will know. Someone in the comments.
Someone will know. Leica or Leica. Santa bought me them for me for Christmas. Or actually, very modern. I bought them and Santa reimbursed me. So I've got my new needles to try out, which I used them on when I cast my dotted rayon last week, and they're really nice, so smooth. But yeah, so I've got my yarn. So I'm doing the knitted pattern in this yarn. And I'm then, for now, I'm going to knit Gemma a sample and crochet Gemma a sample. And Hannah, you're also doing Gemma a sample.
I am, yeah, I'm doing
so
Gemma.
Do you want to show, have you got your wool near you? This is the wool I'm going to be using then for Gemma for a show sample.
I split it in two, but as you can see, I gave up on the winder and just old school. But I split it in two because the crochet one is 2 pieces joined together. So, but I've got Alwyn. Who have you got?
So I've got, I think it's called the Neon Pop colorway. It's a sock set. So it comes with 100 grams and with a mini. Because of course the yarn, the yarn that we use for the collab was, I think it's 430 meters, and this is 425 meters. So not that much shorter, but just in case we're going to do the border in a contrasting mini. But actually, you know, if this is the cast on party, is that a designer recommendation for me? So I'm going to do the knitted one now. Although chatting and drinking wine, I'm probably not going to make a lot of progress, but I will start to cast on in a moment. We've already established I can't multitask, so this is going to be fun. But would you recommend splitting this? And for those crocheters that haven't yet started, would you recommend putting your yarn in half?
I mean, you could. I didn't the first time around. So the blue shawl, I didn't split it. I just, when I did my first half, I cut it off and then, you know, started again. But you could. I think it would, you know, it might save you a bit of time. It might be easier to take it out with you. I have honestly, I will be 100% honest. Yeah, I've only done it because the yarn winder was really stressing me out, and I just thought, right, chop, and did another one. But I think certainly, knitters do it with mitts and socks and stuff, so it might be okay.
Well, as long that's fine then. If you did it and it wasn't a designer tip, cut it in
Yeah.
half so you don't run out, then that's all right. We'll go with that.
You will not run out.
Louise has just sent an email. She's stuck in traffic. She should have been home an hour ago.
Oh no.
Bless her. That's not good. Yeah, no, it's fine. Louise can watch back. Maybe I'll make a get up on Sunday and come and join. So we've had this question in the comments, and I've had a few people on Instagram. So I said 7 a.m. GMT. Forgetting the clocks went forward. I knew they was coming because it's getting lighter here, but I forgot. So no, 7 a.m. BST, British summertime. Basically, 7 a.m. when I wake up, I'm not getting up, which I think my body clock will think is 6 a.m. So that's going to be a bit bleary-eyed. And if any of you are planning on coming back on Sunday, we're going out for food and drinks with my mum and dad tomorrow. So that could be amusing when I set an alarm clock and go, oh, I shouldn't have had that extra glass of wine. So come and join me on Sunday for the slightly hungover dishwasher. Did you hear the beep then?
Sorry, I was beeping too. That's my...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's people buying the pattern.
That was but also the BPS with our dishwasher.
Right, same time then.
So yes, I'll repeat it at the end as well. But for those of you that are going to watch back on this one, and I will put it back on Instagram as well, on Sunday, it's going to be 7 a.m. UK time, but our clocks will have gone forward. So it will be 7 a.m. BST, British summertime. So come and join us. I've joked to Louise and Gem, Hannah, you might be up with the kids. Get the kids to come along.
I will probably be up, yeah.
Whether you want to come and cast on with me again, who knows? But yeah, we'll be 7 a.m. the UK time. Right, back in the comments. So yeah, Babs, have affected the clocks. Yes, absolutely. Charlotte, I'm sorry you've had a rubbish week, but great to end with a live. Yes, I haven't had a rubbish week. I've had an incredibly busy week. And I was like, why did you schedule it for 4 o'clock? It's because I wasn't sure what Mark and I were doing tonight. Because it's one of the first weekends we've not been away or done anything for the last couple of weeks. So I was like, right, we might go out for the beer. We're not now. But I was like, right, I'll schedule it at 7. Gives me a bit of time. But yeah, rushing home from work. Hi from Canada. Hi, Karen, Stitches and Jacks. We met last week at EAYF. Hope you're well. Hi, Linda. Welcome. So Chip Taylor, I'm normally a knitter, but I'm crocheting. If I split 3 balls, 2 40 grams and 1 20 grams because you're using another hand die. That's a good idea, because then you definitely won't run out then. So there's a good little tip from Chip. Oh. And I guess this is what I like about the pattern, Hannah, the way you've created we talked about this when we did the live before, the way you've constructed the crochet pattern so that we can do crochet with a single skein, by kind of almost working out when you get nearly halfway, you can use any skein because you can customize. Obviously, if you've got a slightly lower meterage, then the scarf will be a little bit smaller, but it's one of those designs that you shouldn't run out.
Yeah. And especially, like, I don't want to be the boring person at the party, but if you swatch with the crochet and you match the tension, you will not run out. I wouldn't normally be bothered about swatching for a shawl, but because it's a limited amount of yarn, it's just to make sure that you have enough. But I don't want to be the boring person. I'm not telling everyone what to do.
We tell the designer teacher here is here. It's like, should we swatch? Yes, you should.
Sorry. Yeah.
Right, there we go, folks. Anyone in the comment, has anyone swatched? I'm not. I have cast on. I've literally done those 3 stitches.
Well, I think you'll probably get away with it with the knit, and it's just that with the crochet, it swallows up so much yarn that best just covering your back.
Yeah. And that's it, right? And I'm learning, I guess, when you start designing, do you just often jump straight in with the idea that you've got and kind of just go, or do you swatch the stitch pattern? Do you kind of play with some swatches?
So
How does that work?
I have to swatch because you know, it could just happen where I've designed, say, a cardigan, and the swatch isn't just so that I can check tension, it's so that I can do the maths and work out how much yarn I need.
Yeah.
So because I don't have a pattern to work off, this is what I'm making up. I have to just swatch it in whatever the stitch is, and then you do the maths and you work out, okay, I'll need this many stitches for this many centimeters of body.
Yeah.
So in that respect, swatching is important. Definitely. You can't just jump into it and just measure the tension later, unless it doesn't matter, you know, like it's a bag or just a blanket, for example. But most of the time I have to do it. Otherwise, I don't know how much yarn I'm going to need.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I get to, is I'm learning to love a swatch, but I don't do it all the time. I know I should.
Just reading your comments.
I know, that's what I was doing. Chip has also swatched 5 times to get the gauge you wanted. That's amazing. That's proper swatching. Hannah's going to give you a gold star for that, Chip.
Yeah, gold star. Because, you know, the guys who swatch don't panic halfway through.
That's me.
You know, the yarn chicken in that camp.
Charlotte said she doesn't think it's wise for me to knit and chat. No, I've already made a mistake and I'm ripping back. It's fine. We're not doing anything this evening. How have I only got 4 stitches when I should have had 5?
Sorry, it was my fault. I was talking about swatching and set you off.
Oh, see, we'll blame you. It was the swatching.
Yeah. Like the person who brings the salad to the barbecue.
You do need a bit of salad at a barbecue, though.
You do. But imagine I was excited about the salad.
I don't know what I've done. How have I done that?
Where's the pattern? What have you done? Knit one. Knit back. Oh god. No.
I didn't. Right, I'm going to start again.
Yeah.
I didn't read the pattern. For those of you that have the pattern, I'm not going to, obviously I won't read out the instruction for copyright, but I didn't follow the very first instruction. I did the knit one and then I didn't do the next instruction properly. So I was a stitch short. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, little yarn squidlet. Yes, that's not what I did. I didn't.
I don't know if Louise, I mean, I'm sure Louise has updated the pattern. There was errata on the page, you know, on the product page.
Yes. And I think as long as it's the... Oh, she messaged me this morning, actually. Thank you for saying that, because that is a reminder. Where is the email from Louise? So on row 17, I think there's a yarn over. There was a yarn over missing. So if you've got a different version that doesn't have the yarn over on row 17, drop Louise an email from where you pick the pattern up from, and she can make sure that you've got the correct version. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I'd forgot that, actually. Right. And then again. And then knit one. Right, folks, I have 5 stitches. Woohoo!
Well done.
Ta-da! Right, I've started again for the second time. Angela Evans has got the right idea, because she's just got a 200-gram skein. You're definitely not going to run out. Angela, are you going to carry on? Are you doing the knit or the crochet version? And are you just going to carry on and use all 200? Or are you just going to kind of stop when you're happy? I'd be intrigued to see that as well, especially if it's getting bigger. Carol Ann, that is amazing. That it is 3:15 in the morning in Australia. So thank you so much. I'm hoping you're a night worker and you're just up for work, but if you're awake just for this, that is even better. Thank you so much. And then, yeah, a few people said they made the same mistake. Yeah. We just jump in, don't we? You see the instruction, you're like, oh, I know to do that. Then don't actually pay attention properly to the pattern. Yeah, Charlotte, I'll polish the halo because I've literally just done the first row of the instruction. Puppers, how do we know if we've got the correct version of the pattern? If you pop over to Louise's page, actually, let me see if I can get that and I can pop that in the description box so you can go there. There is an errata that there was one error in the pattern. But if you bought the pattern when it first came out, if you were early and you jumped in, you might have the version that's got the error on it. If you've bought it in the last few weeks, you will have the correct version, I believe. But let me pop a link into here. Obviously, Louise has managed, and Hannah have managed the patterns directly. So any queries?
Oh yeah. I've just realised as well, like nobody said anything yet, but if there's any problems with mine, do let me know and I'll review it. But no one said anything. So
Right, let me just copy that and then where am I? Right, I've lost the comment. All right, there we go. Right, so that link there, everyone, will take you to Louise's website, and as Hannah said, you can then just make sure you've got the errata version. Hi from Belgium, hi from the Netherlands. Hi from Finland. This is brilliant.
I told you it was an international make-along.
You did, didn't you? Which is amazing.
I told all my followers that as well. I thought, I'm sure I saw people from all over the world in the last few weeks chatting about this.
Oh, you're very kind. Yes, Puppers, I believe there should be a yarn over in row 17, which is what I have on my version of the pattern. Whereas there was a query, I don't think there was a yarn over in the original version. I'm going to do this now, and I'm probably going to get in trouble. Mark, have you finished your calls? Do you want to come and say hello? Oh. Don't be so boring. Come and say hello. You're not a mascot. You're a recurring character.
Roll me out.
I don't roll you out.
Hi.
Hey, Ma.
Hello. I'm your token mascot, am I?
You are.
What are you doing?
I've cast on for the second time because
Don't cast on much.
I'm trying to chat and it's really hard.
What's that? 5 stitches?
Yeah, but I already made a mistake. I had to rip it back and do. Well, I didn't have to rip a lot back. I got to the end of row 3 and then realized I was a stitch short. It's because I'm chatting. It's Hannah's fault.
You're having trouble counting to 5?
Literally.
Okay.
It's been a long week, hasn't it?
Oh, it has been a long week. See, look, loads of people. Hi, Mark. Hi. See, people like seeing you. You're like Janice in Friends.
How far are we in the world?
We are everywhere. Australia.
What's the farthest person? Australia?
Australia. It's 3:15 in Australia. There's a lady who's awake.
What, in the morning?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's commitment. Loads of people in America, loads of people in Europe. It's all very lovely. See, look, everyone likes to see. There's also method in my mouth. Can you open the door, please? It's really hot in here. Can you go and open the door? Mark is the responsible adult at this party. I'm not. He probably is. I was going to say I'm not sure he's that responsible, but he probably is. Someone said that you're the responsible adult. Judith said you're the responsible adult at this party.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no booze yet. So.
No, I got my own booze. You had a work call.
I know. It's Friday afternoon.
Oh, honestly, this is like the hot cross buns all over again.
What was the hot cross buns?
Remember, you wanted to try the cheese ones.
Oh, the cheese ones, and he wouldn't let me have the cheese ones. I still haven't had my cheese hot cross buns.
I didn't see any.
I saw them and you told me I wasn't allowed to have them.
Well, I don't remember that. We bought the blueberry ones, so
they were nice.
We still got some
with salted butter.
Lovely.
Right.
Long Island. Wow.
Yeah. There's someone here from Iceland as well.
Wow.
Yeah, a bit further on, there's somebody here from Iceland. We've got Australia. We've got loads of people in the US, and they've got different time zones as well. So that's even more.
What is the Florida Panhandle? What does that mean?
11:27 in the Florida Panhandle. Oh, is that the bit?
The bit that comes out to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, Rebecca, tell us where in Florida are you? My brother and sister-in-law and nephew and niece too are going to Florida in May. All the kids and Katie's parents are going to Florida on their honeymoon. Although they're having a mini moon, they're driving to Miami from Florida. So they're very excited about wedding and then Florida. We've got Loki for 3 weeks. I'm not sure who's got the best deal. 3 weeks in Florida or 3 weeks with Loki.
Is Loki the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met Loki before?
No, I've never seen him.
Never seen him. Let me he's the cutest. People, if folks here watch some of my videos, they'll recognize Loki. He is literally Lord of Mischief. But he's just... Hannah, can you see that?
He's so cute.
He's a little terrier.
And he sleeps.
And he does sleep all the time.
I think all terriers should be called Loki.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Krista, so you're just outside of Tampa. Okay, I know where that is. Stephanie wants to know, is it bread day?
It is bread day.
Go on. It is bread day. It's for the weekend. He's made bread. It
is bread day.
I'm very lucky. So we have a little white loaf for the weekend, which is very cool. Right. I've knit the second row.
I've just dropped flour on the floor. I'll leave that.
Have you got are you getting any self wine?
Yes, I will do now. I'm just finishing that.
Right, I've done 2 rows. Right, I saw a question. We're talking about all these people, and we've got Mark here. There was an actual serious question, right? When you Barlow Bunny, when you knit after the slip 3 with yarn in front, which stitch do you start in? Do you have a working yarn float? Oh, my name is Donna, not Barlow Bunny. Hi, Donna. I haven't got that far ahead in the pattern. I'm assuming you're around row 5, where you slip 3 with yarn in front at the end. So assuming, because the knit pattern has an I-cord edge that goes up straight, and then you've got the growth on the other side. So the slip 3 with yarn in front will create the I-cord. So at the end of your row, bring the yarn to the front and slip the 3. When you turn it back around, you knit into the first stitch. So by slipping them on the one side and then knitting them on the other, that's what will create the straight I-cord edging. So not a silly question at all. So slip the 3 with the yarn in front. When you then turn back around to knit the next row, knitting directly into the first stitch. Don't skip any more stitches then on the next row. I hope that helps.
Sure it will. Donna will let us know.
Yes, let us know if that's not. Yeah, Chip, he didn't make any sourdough. I came in and I could smell bread. And I was like, have you made bread? He's like, yeah, not sourdough though. I just made a normal loaf.
Oh, but that's still nice.
It is still nice, but there's something he's got two starters. He's got a rye flower starter called Cynthia.
Yeah.
And a white starter called Nixon, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah. So he hasn't made any sourdough. But I'm not complaining. Like he's made proper bread, which is amazing. Charlotte, will I get to row 5? I have in the next half hour, I hope so. I'm just going to mark off that I've done row 2.
Let's see, is he going to get through that?
Right. Where am I? Right. Okay, I'm doing row 3. So Hannah, you're doing the crochet version at the moment?
I'm slightly addicted, yeah. So I meant to cast on the knit one, but I can't put the crochet one down. So the furthest I've got is I'm looking at the pattern for the knit one, but I cannot put the crochet one down. So I haven't got that much more than what I had the other day, but I just love the colours. You know, it's a really gorgeous yarn. Yeah, and I don't know, my mini is somewhere, but I won't need that until the end. But yeah, it's just I've been thinking about, I'll do some demonstrations of the increases, you know, over the next couple of days, in case anyone's not sure. But I don't know, it's just nice. It's just nice to work on. Well, in my opinion, my biased opinion. Yeah.
I've got a skein of that as well. I'm doing a mystery test knit.
Ooh.
Which I hate being cryptic. Like I'm not saying, oh, look what I'm doing. Like I'm doing a mystery test knit, but I have to talk about I'm doing a mystery test knit because it's going to stop me doing actual knitting because I've got a deadline to hit for that one. But it's a 2-color project and I have that version. Is that double knit that you've got?
No, the
That
double knit
fingering
is this one. It's a lot more squidgy, the double knit.
So I'm doing, so in that colorway that you've got, that's my contrast color.
And you're using double knit?
No, I've got the fingering version.
Oh, right, yeah, fingering with this one, yeah.
But yeah, that's my my secret project. So I've got the same color yarn as you, and you're right, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get another one off there and design something else. People will be sick of it because I'll be using it in like 3 patterns. But when I like a yarn, I'll use a yarn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Use it as often as I can.
Right. I've done row 4 and I've got the most ridiculous stitch markers. They're not subtle at all. They're what I just managed to find to hand. Right. I know there's another couple of questions. So let me stop at that point. Right. Let's have a look. Let me go back. On row 1, should that second stitch be
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's the double increase, so I think it's just a typo. So yeah, it should be rhubarb and verbal. I think it is. It's KFBF. I think it's just the way that it's been transposed over. So yes, I think you're correct. Yeah, it's the KFBF. Donna, no worries. Good tinking back. I've had to do it as well. You're in great company. So Lisa Silver, where can we get the pattern? So further up in the project, further up in the chain, I posted a link to the pattern page for Louise because we were checking for an errata. Let me find Hannah's.
I've just stuck a link in there to remember Gemma's page where she had everyone's patterns on.
Yeah.
Don't know if it works in the comments, but
and then so yeah, Lisa, look back up in the comments and you'll see a comment from me with the knitting pattern from Louise, and I've just pasted the crochet pattern, so that'll take you to Hannah's website for the crochet one. Hannah Krista said that she doesn't usually like half double crochets, but in this case, she agrees it's very addictive.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's my favorite stitch. How can you not love it? No, I feel because I'm so spoilt with half double, when I do double crochet now, I feel like it's a lot of work. It's only another app, but it just makes me think, oh, half double's so much easier. Oh, I love it. Honestly, I warn you, a lot of my patterns use half double because I just love them. Yeah. Perfect lazy crochet stitch. But yeah, it'd be fun to do the shell at the end with this one because I love the pink.
After my my crochet cardigan, I think I am a quicker crochet. Obviously, crochet grows quicker than knitting anyway, so I'm hoping that when I start the crochet version, it won't take me too long.
I don't think so. No, as long as you're competent at half double crochet, you should be fine. No. And where you put your increases as well. So
no, actually, there's something. While we mention that now, so you call them half double crochets.
Yeah, but it's
no, I know them as half trebles. Yes. Yeah. So that I guess that's obviously in the pattern. I'm guessing that people know that you're using American terms.
Yeah, so it'll always say in bold, pattern uses US terms. And I talked about this with my tech editor. And I said, should I include both in UK and US? And she said, don't, because it would be too confusing. Because sometimes when they have it in brackets next to it, it's a bit, but, there's so many charts out there that you could just have, and there's only 6 terms. So, so I don't use both in the one pattern, but I do clearly say this is US terms. And you'll know if you're not doing it because your piece will look much different to
mine. But yeah, definitely a half double. I get now that then made me think a half double. No, see a half treble. Yeah, half treble. I can see. I'm not a fan of that stitch. See,
no.
I think when I've had to do it before, I always find, at least with a treble or a double, I get to do both loops and knock them off. Whereas obviously with a half, you do the one yarn over, then you pull through 3.
Yeah.
It's obviously the way I hold my hook and my yarn, or it's a tension thing. But I sometimes find it catches on the middle stitch and I can't pull it through as seamlessly.
So I've just done it there. Yeah, you pull it through and sometimes it just leaves you with that one floating there. That could just be down to your hook as well. There's some hooks that when I use them, I drop the loops, and then others that are just a lot more accurate. I don't know why, because they're just hooks, but it's like that with knit needles, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it also comes down to personal preference, because I talked about the Leica needles. If I have a preference, I've got loads of my grandparents' old knitting needles, but they're old metal ones. But I'm definitely a bamboo or a wood. I think I like the fact that they're a little bit stickier.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a fan of metal knitting needles, certainly not pins, as my nan would have called them, to go back and forth. I much prefer bamboo.
The opposite. I love my stainless steel. Love it. Just everything just slides across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see in the comments you found some kindred spirits in Linda and
yeah, so Linda's from school as well.
There's a little Liverpool, because Anne, when I watch your podcast, you've got such a strong Canadian accent now, and I've forgotten that you told me before that you were from Liverpool.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people from Liverpool in Canada. Yeah, including some of my extended family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got an auntie in Canada, in Toronto.
I'm just looking back through some of the... Jane Stevens is spinning fibre for the pattern. That's amazing. See, this is why I want to learn to spin, but we won't go into this because we talked about this in previous videos. I'm not allowed a spinning wheel yet. I'm saying yet. But that's really cool. Right, Elaine Draper, row 9 is at an I-cord edge, then row 5 or row 5 again. Right, bear with. Yes, it's actual row 5 in the pattern, Elaine. So where the pattern says for row 9 as row 5, repeat the instructions that are on row 5 in the pattern. So your row 9 will end as your row 5 row does, with you slipping the last 3, if that makes sense. So whenever you see that, the same row 11, it's as row 7 is written. So just follow that pattern. And then that will create help you create the I-cord edge. Hannah, did you see the comment from Danielle?
I did. I have just replied.
Oh,
so,
right, there we go. You're ahead of me.
Yeah, so don't go into the 4th chain from the hook like you normally would when you're doing a chain 2. When you get to the end of a row, you chain 2 and then turn. Instead of going into the 4th, going into the base of the chain just means go into the 3rd. We talked about that with my testers about which would be easier. Because when I was saying go into the 3rd chain from the hook, they were ending up with gaps. So we just said go into the base. But I'll demonstrate that this week, what I mean. But yeah, when
Okay.
you hard to show you on here, but you can see it's starting to go this way, and that's because when I've done a chain 2 and turned around, I've just gone into the same chain here. Does that make sense? I will show you time and time again. I'll put it on a video so that you can watch it on it, but it's a little bit easier than having to do increases at the end of the previous row.
That's the bit when I remember and I'm sure loads of people experience this when you do tutorials. That's the bit that I've always struggled with crocheting flat, is where to place either the first or the last stitch. And even if I'm doing a square, it always ends up slightly, there's like a little indentation where I've obviously missed one. And I find myself like, if I'm meant to have 17 stitches, I have to literally keep counting 17 and make sure I've got it. But then I might have 15. I'm like, I'll just squeeze one in, but that'll be fine. It's that placement. I think that's probably where, because I'm a knitter who crochets, I'm probably less familiar with the placement of the stitches that I find a little bit more tricky than with knitting. You're just going into your stitch, for example. Yeah.
So, I mean, what you can do for that is to stick stitch markers in your turning chains. It's a bit of a faff, but if you're new to it, you could just stick, those like really lightweight plastic ones that kind of look like pens.
Yeah.
If you stuck one in each turning chain of the previous row, you would know that's where I need to stick my last stitch. There's a lot of videos I need to do by the sounds of this. So where's my pen? I better write it down. So
yeah, we're creating content for you now.
Yeah, because
I think
I always ask people.
But that for me, I think, is that's the common mistake thing. It's the understanding
what to do with the ends.
Yeah, and that's where I think I struggled with crochet, because I managed to teach myself to knit by kind of copying people on YouTube. But I think the bit that I struggled with the crochet to teach myself is having someone go, no, it's not there, right, into that one. Or when I did a face-to-face class, I remember Gail talking about twins and triplets, because I would be crocheting and she's like, oh, you've got twins, you went into that stitch twice. I'm like, oh, no. And it's someone to point it out to you, I think, it's that placement to make sure that you don't end up on an angle.
Otherwise you're just playing around with all these different shapes. Basically for this, when you get onto your increase row, you want to create twins in the first stitch. So, that's a good thing. So if you create twins all the time, then you'll be all right. Just do it on one side. It'll be fine.
Just got to be consistent.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because you said you wanted it to be accessible, I was just like, okay, well, we'll just use the one stitch, and we'll use something a bit more fancy for the trim. But like I said, I'll demonstrate how that all works later on in the make along, because I don't want to.
Great, thank you. And what I'll do on the playback for this, and I don't know whether you want to do it now, pop in the link to your YouTube channel, but we'll put that in the description box as well below the video. So as people are watching back, if they want to go and head to your channel, I know that you've got other tutorials on there.
Yeah,
that'll be great for people to be able to.
I mean, half double is already on there.
Yeah.
As is all of the basic stitches, how to work them. So, but I'll show you how to do increases as well, and but yeah, I made this so easy. There's no decreases, it's just increases, and then you fasten off and then join them together, because I thought we're not getting into that because it's complicated. And I was thinking of all the knitters who might say, oh, I'll give that a go. I don't want to scare them off. I don't want to scare you off.
No, you don't want to do that. Right, I slipped my stitch mark in the wrong place. I think I fixed it. No, it's fine. I had that in the wrong place. Right. I've just finished row 6, which isn't bad considering all the talking.
Yeah, well done.
We have the teeniest, tiniest shawl appearing. Right, let's get back to double check some comments.
Oh, why can't I just like comment? I agree with Sarah saying the plastic safety pin ones are great for making campaigns. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just show you now while Martin's reading the comments. I've chained 2 at the end, and then I've turned the piece around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over and go into the base of this chain. So it's basically the 3rd chain from the hook. So you never count the loop on the hook, you always count the ones after. I'm going into that 3rd one, and that is what creates the increase. See? But I can show you that in more detail next week.
It's easy when you know how.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I've got one more week until it's the Easter holidays, and I won't be able to post any videos, so I'll bang them all out this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Someone's just asked for the pattern again. So the knit version is the Do Not Disturb Shawl by Louise Tilbrook. If you look back, I recently just posted it in reply to a comment from Leslie Martin. There's the link from Louise to get to the knitting pattern, and Hannah's doing the crochet version, which is called the Disturbia Shawl. And if you flick back up through the comments, you'll see a comment from Hannah with a link to that. It's just a little bit above it. So the links are already in the chat, and then we'll post them again in the description box below the video. Linda Simpson Designs, you are motoring on row 37. Well done. That is good going.
Well into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But someone asked if I was going to get to row 5, and I've got to row 6, which is even better.
Really good. And you've got the wine.
And I've got wine, yeah. Although my wine is running out, and Mark hasn't come in to get his own wine yet. So I do need to ask him if he's coming to get his own wine, then he can top mine up. KFB, knit to marker. When I finish this Zoom, though, I will replace the stitch markers I've got, because they're very clunky. I just need some simple markers, I think. Slip marker, slip. Go. I'm on row 7's done. I'm flying now, folks. I'm not going to catch up with Linda by the end of this. Oh, there we go. Hannah, Soxy Nana Alice is looking for a new blanket pattern to try more crochet. Any suggestions?
So to try more crochet, what where are you, Sexy Nana? What have you done already? Oh no, my comments have crashed. Hang on. Where are you? Right. Oh, okay. So it depends what you've done already. Obviously there's the granny square. What have I got on there? So yeah, so I'd say just do a granny square blanket because you can practice all your joins then. But yeah, I think if you want something really big, there's the Battenberg blanket. You've done corner to corner. Oh, try a granny square then. So you know, you just make the squares. It's really fast, and then at the end you join them all together and do a nice border. That's a nice project to do. And you can make a lap blanket or more of a throw or a single duvet size if you want. But yeah, I think it really depends on the person, because some people love doing just stripes, you know, horizontal side to side.
Yeah.
I do not. I like things to be quick. I'd find that quite, you know, it would go on too long for me. I like things to be quick. So
Yeah.
I would say have a go at granny squares, and then you can practice how to join with all the different joins you can do. But yeah, the granny square all the way, I would say.
I did a honeycomb blanket, which was with the puff stitch, I think it was.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed doing. I thought that was really cute. And I guess similar to a granny square one, that you're crocheting small bits and then chaining them or seaming them all together. But I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, it's a lot more portable as well. So if you like taking it out with you,
Yeah.
you know, you can just work on a couple of squares as opposed to bringing the whole thing out with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only got one blanket pattern because I don't really do blankets. You know, like it's like I've got a short attention span. I couldn't commit to a blanket. You know, far too big a commitment. I'm not your blanket person, really. Well, that's okay. We don't all have to be.
Someone's on the first picot bind off and a little bit stressed. Don't stress, it's only knitting. You'll be fine. Take it one stitch at a time. You're definitely well ahead of me. I'm on row 13. But no, don't stress, it'll be fine. And as I've said before, if you make a mistake and you have to rip it back, you get to use the yarn again, which means you got more use out of the yarn. I'm all about the positive thinking. It'll be fine. What am I doing? Slip stitch. Right, row 11 as row 7. Right, KFB. Knit to marker.
I just said about the blankets, you know, granny squares are challenging if you don't know how they work. It's always been the first thing that when I've had, you know, when I've taught crochet lessons, they always say, I want to know how to do a granny square, because there's so many of them that you can do.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's it. It's such they are so portable.
Yeah.
And such a quick, and I guess with the variation, because the cardigan I made, you know, that was based on a granny stitch, doing a hexagon, but then putting the hexagon into the cardigan was amazing.
Yeah. You can do loads with it. I mean, technically a 5-corner granny square, which isn't really a square, it's a can make a nice blanket. You know. Oh, that's the thing as well. If you started off with a granny square and you just keep increasing on the corners, you can have a big square blanket, you know. massive blanket. I've done
Yeah.
some of them for the kids. They're quite nice. But yeah.
Bit to marker. Slip marker.
I've just done that thing you said you do all the time. You know, the you pull through 3 and end up with 2. Because we've talked about it now, it's like being in the car with someone talking about stalling, and then before you know it, you stall all the time.
Right, I'm getting a weird. I'm obviously not focusing properly because I'm chatting, but I've had this happen twice now. And at the end of my row, when I should slip the marker, slip 3 with yarn in front, I've got 4 stitches, not 3 stitches. There are some of you that are ahead of me: Linda, Janice, Becky, Anne. What am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Am I confusing my row 5s and 7s? Someone let me know, because it's happened twice now, and I'm chatting, and I think I'm probably confusing my row 5 or my row 7, where it just says repeat. Why we do that? Oh, the Sunbird Crochet podcast. Yeah, Sophie's Universe is amazing. Oh, and Georgina, hi. You said about the Sophie. Yeah, one of my friends made it, and I look at it and I'm just like, that's way advanced crochet. Definitely more than I can do. Have you seen it, Hannah?
It might. Well, I think it might just look more advanced than it is. Like everyone makes that. Is it Moroccan Tiles by Janie Crow?
Oh yeah.
So that looks really complicated, but in the pattern, it's really detailed. You know, photo by photo. But I feel a lot of people making that. You know, those crochet blankets. What, the one that you just mentioned?
Oh, Elaine, thank you. Right, everyone's coming in. Yes, I'm forgetting row 6.
Oh.
This is why I shouldn't do it while I'm chatting, because I've just gone row 7, row 9, row 11, just as, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Right, so this does mean I'm probably having to rip it back and start again. But hey, right, if I've made these mistakes, the whole point is we're all here to support each other. So thank you so much. Yes, Rose, do you know what it is? It's because I do it on my iPad with most patterns, and I can cross them out in pen on my iPad, and then I can undo the pen. I crossed through row 6, forgetting the and all subsequent wrong side rows. Thank you so much. Yes, so what you need to make sure is you don't miss out row 6, because that has got the wrong side instruction. I thought that was a bit, I was like, oh, I'm just repeating row 5, row 7. No, obviously row 5, row 6, row 7, row 6, row 5, row 6, and so forth. But this is why I love these types of things, because we get to have, oh, Julianne, you've done that as well. Thank you. I'm glad it wasn't just me. But this is why I love these types of things, because we all, if we're going to make mistakes, right, we make similar mistakes, but we're all in this together. So yeah, thank you very much, folks. That was quite timely, actually, that, you know, we're doing a cast on party to help each other. So there's really no need in me doing this anymore. I did get not too bad. I did a little bit. If you come back on Sunday, though, I have to do my secret test knit. There'll be no work on Mark's jumper this weekend. I have to do my secret test knit, but I'll probably spend the night working on this. So I'll see how far I can get tonight, test knit tomorrow, and then I'll be back with you on Sunday for the crochet version. But yes, I'm very glad that I did that mistake, because that means I've hopefully saved anyone watching this a similar problem. Lots of love for Sophie's Universe. My friend made it, as I said, and it looked glorious. And then she made a second one. I think it's in the naughty corner. Yeah. And I'm like, poor Sophie. I'm like, have you finished second, Sophie? She's like, no.
Oh, the yarn, maybe she used different yarn.
No, I think she blindly carried on one evening and I think made a mistake and then realized that she's got to rip it back.
Oh,
yeah.
Think-
Becky Barlow has asked about hashtags on social media. So yeah, we're predominantly on Instagram, but
Yeah.
Hannah and I and Louise love a bit of Twitter. So we are going to do hashtag, and I'm looking, where's the hashtag symbol on my keyboard gone? Oh, there it is. We're going to do, no, not that one. I want to do, no. Oh, what have I done? Oh, bear with. Hashtag knit365cal and hashtag knit365. Yeah, hashtag knit365cal for both. Right, there we go. Let me put them in the comments. Knit365cal and knit365cal. Either or will be hashtags. And I'm going to try and work out, I'm stumped by technology, but I think I've got a solution. I'm going to try and work out some way that all of you folks, when you've finished, so I don't know how long this will take. In theory, it's a one skein project. So it should, we should be able to do it in 4 to 6 weeks. We can get this finished. Like we may kind of say, well, let's run until the end of April and then we'll see how people are getting on. But when the majority of people are close to finishing, I thought about maybe trying to get photos from you all and we'll do some kind of montage wrap up to show all the shawls, because there'll obviously be loads of shawls in the Disturbia yarn colorway, but there's obviously going to be loads of shawls as well in your own yarn. Someone earlier up in the thread was doing hand spun, so all of that stuff is so cool and I'd love to see that. And I'm sure Hannah and Louise would love to see all the different styles of shawls that we've got. So watch this space as part of the cal. I will try and work out how. There must be a technological way, and I think I've worked it out, that I can get photos from you without me needing to get you to email me, that I can save them down. I have a plan. Gemma's also a web designer as well as a yarn mistress wizard. So Gemma's on the case. So watch this space, but I want to make sure, I think that would be really cool to do at the very end, that we can get all the pictures from you and we can share that with everybody. Shari, you're so welcome to start the knit along together. Yeah, we love doing things like that. This was my dream when I said about doing the collaboration, was that it's a community thing. I've said before, I'll keep making YouTube videos as long as you guys keep watching them, but then to be able to share designers that I love. Hannah is a newer designer. Louise, I've knit loads of her patterns. To be able to link Hannah and Louise together to design something and kind of share their work with all you is kind of what I wanted to do. So yeah, it's really cool that when I started right at the very beginning saying this has been in the planning for a while, and the fact that it's actually here is just a little bit surreal and a little bit cool. So yeah, thank you all very much for joining in. But use those hashtags on Instagram and or Twitter. In the description box below the video, I will, for those of you watching on playback and those here now, I'll put the links to the patterns, but I'll also put links to everybody's social media. So Hannah and Louise especially are quite active on Twitter as well as Instagram. So come along and give the three of us a follow on Twitter. If you use Twitter, come in and give us a follow on Instagram if you're an Instagrammer. Or you might just be a YouTuber and not use some of the other socials. That's absolutely fine. These videos will stay here up on YouTube, and they will always be available on the playback so that you can go back and listen. There's 155 people here now live, which is crazy. And as we established earlier on the call, so many people from so many different countries. So thank you very much for being here with us. I guess we'll probably start to wrap this up now. So any final comments or questions for me or Hannah on the patterns or anything else before we wrap this one up. I'll be back on Sunday morning. I'm not sure Hannah or Louise or Gemma will be up at 7 a.m. and want to do this again, but
I'll see what I can do, but we'll see.
Will the kids be back then? Yes, you said.
Oh yeah, the kids will be with me. It's just whether I've had any sleep. That's all.
Well, I'm going to do that. I thought it was because I've been trying to do my monthly sit and knits, although I don't get a lot of knitting done because I just end up sitting there chatting to people in the comments. But I do the at the end of the month, and I'm trying to alternate them around the time zones so that I get different people can join live. So it just so happened that March, I said I would try and do like an Australian Southern Hemisphere time zone. So 7 a.m. our time is 6 p.m. In somewhere in Australia. I realized that Australia and New Zealand, you have like 3 time zones, but 7 a.m. for me seems to be 5, 6 o'clock, I think, tea time. So Sunday's one will be at that time. Sue, I know you said how often are these live? So tonight and then Sunday. We'll probably have a couple of weeks break then to let folks work through plans. And then also Mark and I are going to Amsterdam next weekend. Very excited for his birthday. So there won't be anything the following weekend because we'll be away in Amsterdam. And then probably then the weekend after. Actually, what am I doing then? Oh yeah, the following weekend is Easter weekend. So we've got Friday and Monday off work for extra bank holiday. So we'll probably pop up at some point over the Easter weekend with another live to check in and see how you're all going on with your project. So yeah, probably a couple of weeks break and then we'll be back with another live. But yeah, it's so cool to see you all here and be chatting along with you. So yeah, our clocks change this weekend. So it'll be 7 a.m. my time, which will then be British summertime. So it will be an hour ahead. So I think that probably means it's 7 o'clock Australia. I can't remember what time zone I looked at. I think it was Sydney I looked at. That 7 a.m. GMT was 6 p.m. Sydney, I think, which will probably mean if it's 7, it'll then be 7. But basically, I will do 7 a.m. UK time, British summer time. I'll be here. If any of you around the world are here, I know I'm American, you'll probably all be asleep. It'll be the middle of the night. But yeah, we'll try and we'll see who's around. Liz, I hope to go to Stephen and Penelope. I did say to Mark, if we go to Amsterdam, we need to go to Stephen and Penelope. And I don't know how I'm going to work out that one to buy yarn, because obviously I'm on my yarn ban. I'm trying not to buy yarn, and I've got like live at a yarn show is definitely one. I'm not sure whether I can. It's fine. I can break my rule. Oh, gift yarn is fine. So I can get Mark to buy me some yarn from Stephen and Penelope. There we go.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if I'll blog yet because it depends on like if I go to Stephen and Penelope, I will absolutely film some footage and then we'll maybe do a mini blog to show off the store for you all so that you can see it. So, right, no other comments have come in. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here. It's been super fun to see you all. Thank you for Hannah for joining. Gemma messaged me. She is in the dye pots. She's doing some custom dyes for people. Louise sadly got stuck in Friday traffic. So it was absolutely lovely for Hannah to come and join us. So thank you very much. Thank you all for your time, for giving us this last hour or so. I'm going to go and rip mine back and then correct my error because I missed row 6, which I will go and correct. So when you join me on Sunday, whether it's live or watching the playback, I'll save Sunday's one as well. So you might have a bit of a marathon, couple of videos to catch up on, but I will try to make more progress. So yeah, so I guess thank you very much, Hannah. Anything else from you that you want to add?
No, just thank you and thank you everyone for coming along. It's been amazing, it really has.
Excellent. I can't wait to see
what a nice way to end the week.
I can't wait to see your knitted version when you
Yeah.
decide to put the crochet one down and get casting on.
Yeah, the problem with the knitted version as well is I'm just surrounded by all these different 4-ply and I don't know which one to pick, so that'll be fun. to work out.
Good
Yeah.
luck with that then. Maybe do a poll on Instagram. Pick 2 or 3.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Community crowdfund it. We'll find you we'll find you a color.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for everyone being here. So I will see you all on Sunday. Thank you to Hannah. Thank you to everyone. Hope it's fun. Tag us in pictures using those hashtags on Instagram and Twitter. And if you've got any questions, comment on one of our pictures and we'll get back in touch with you, or message us, get in touch. Plenty of support if you've got any queries from either me, Louise, or Hannah. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.